Hey everyone, Dr. Crank here at Waco Animal Hospital, and today we're going to be talking about intestinal parasites and what they are.
All right, Dr. Crank, how might my dog get worms?
So a lot of the times it's going to be something that they get it from their environment, so that's generally going to be the ground, whether that be at your home or if you're around the neighborhood or in the dog park. Sometimes as far as puppies go, they can actually be born with certain types of worms as well.
Are worms painful to my dog?
So they can certainly be upsetting to their stomach. A lot of them are going to live in their intestinal tract and can actually feed on their intestinal lining. And so as you can imagine, that doesn't feel the greatest.
Are worms visible in my dog's stool? And if so, what do they look like?
So yes and no. So some of them are going to be pretty easily visible. They'll kind of look like long pieces, and we always use terms in food, and so they'll look like spaghetti, and so it is something that's going to be ones that are pretty easily visible. Others will sometimes be in their stool or other times be hanging around their back end and their fur, and those are going to look like little grains of rice. So those are going to be kind of the more common ones that you'll see in their stool if you'll see anything.
So, how common are worms in dogs?
So they're actually a little more common than what you would think. That's why we do always recommend for our puppies to be dewormed and have fecal exam testing done. And then even for dogs, whenever they're coming in for their annual exams, to also have that fecal testing done, especially if they're not on a heartworm prevention, because they can get them, like I said, just from the ground. And so even just being in your yard, if you potentially had walked through and stepped in some dog poo from somewhere else, tracked that into your yard, you could actually have brought some worm eggs in there with you.
So, how long can worms last inside my dog?
So they can last for quite some time, especially without showing any symptoms. So it is something they can live for several weeks to months because they do continue to reproduce.
So, my last question is, what if my dog has worms and they go untreated?
So it is something that usually we can see some GI type issues, so vomiting, diarrhea, inappetence, things like that overall tell you that you have an upset stomach. But it is something as well that if left untreated, especially in smaller dogs with hookworms, we can actually see what's called hookworm anemia, and that is something that can end up being fatal. And so you do always want to make for sure that if your dog does have diarrhea or you do see worms, you're getting to your vet pretty quickly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.